guys? How's it going? Today we're going to learn about how to draw a shark. And I am drawing with a Polychromos Faber-Castell. That's all I know about this thing. It's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of charcoal, only it doesn't smudge like crazy the way charcoal does. So let's go over this. I'm actually going to be shading a little bit in this one. And I want to make the shark kind of come at us a little bit, you know. So I'm going to have to think a little bit in 3D. I do a bunch of circles because I want to think in 3D, you know? Like, I'm trying to picture the shark. If the shark was a building, you know what I mean? And all they had was the big iron rods up that kind of, you know, the skeleton part of it. That's the way I'm thinking about this. I'm almost like the blimp. You know, you've seen the skeletal stuff of the Hindenburg and stuff. Let's see if this is centered enough. Yeah. So I want it to be kind of coming at us a little bit. So I want to, like I said, I'm kind of thinking the way it would be as a skeletal structure. And since they are really fat, they kind of torpedo looking. I'm going to be thinking in that way as well. Fin would be back here. Perspective-wise, it's going to be going back. I'm not measuring out everything in perspective right now. I'm just kind of eyeballing the perspective. Let's see. I would imagine it would be right here. This fin right here is, they call it pectoral fin. Remember, sharks are fish. So they're pretty much made of cartilage. Their bone structure is made of cartilage except for the teeth, I believe. His eyeball. It's got that counter shading going on, you know, where it's camouflage. Alright, that's just a broad, big scribble, as you can tell. Hopefully you can kind of see that on camera, this scribbly stuff. That's just to get my placement down. Now, I'm going to try to go down hard, you know. I'm going to draw the eyeball. The eyeball is going to, you know, pretty much a dot. Might draw him a little angry. I want to give him a little personality. Going in there. I'm putting down little lines right here to kind of, since it's going to be mostly round, I have to kind of find the angles on the shark in a way, you know? I have to find where to place them because he is pretty round. He is angular. The first impression, he looks pretty angular and round. The front is obviously pointy. But then in other places, the more round a creature is, the more you have to stylize, the more you have to figure out. You know, obviously everything's decision making, but the more, I think the harder the decision making. That's just an opinion. Like his mouth. Let's see. I always thought, you know, despite the teeth, that the sharks had this kind of like old man-looking mouth. Ooh. It's got the nostril over here in the front. Man, megalodons must have been awesome. Have you guys ever seen that? The prehistoric sharks? They were freaking giant. This was the scariest thing ever. Let me sharpen this thing real quick. Going down to the teeth now. I'm not going to exaggerate it. Normally, because I've worked in a theme park for years. I mean, I currently don't, but I mean, 5 years ago, I worked in SeaWorld doing caricatures, and so I got really used to drawing these exaggerated, crazy sharks. And that's not a bad habit, you know, like to draw them really cartoony, but it kind of stays with you a little bit, you know. I kind of like have this urge to draw it really cartoony, but I try not to. I try to pull back a little bit, even though this is a little, in a way, cartoony, but it's nowhere near the what I used to do. And again, it's like that decision making. Try to make sure that all connects correctly. It's weird when you're first drawing in perspective. You're kind of like, it goes so against what you, the way you normally draw. You just have to force yourself to like let go and make that part of the body a lot smaller than you would think. Because I feel like in your brain wants to autocorrect that and make that even, but don't do that. There's foreshortening going on. You know, maybe self-evaluate after, but you got to take that leap. You know. Pectoral fin. Let me see. This is gonna be hard here. Just trying to figure this out in my head. Where would that angle? Maybe right here. I'm gonna say right here about. Look, I lean back. Sometimes I just lean back because I'm all up in this thing. I'm all up like my eyes are right up in here, and I wanna. Sometimes I just gotta sit back and be like, okay, is that looking right? Is that looking right? You know, you gotta be more objective, which is almost impossible while you're drawing. Usually, you'll be the most objective is when you kind of like take a break for half an hour and you come back and you're like, ugh, or you come back and you're like, you know what, it's looking all right, you know. Or if you look back on your drawings after a year, you know, then you'll be like, oh man, what the hell was I thinking? Or you know, it's pretty annoying actually. I find that part of drawing very annoying. But like I said, another thing you can do to get an instant fresh eye, and I've said this before, is put your drawing in a mirror. I know you've heard that one. Or you can flip your drawing on Photoshop, which is what I do. I usually take a photo of it, flip it. I just feel like I can correct it, but I make some corrections on Photoshop after that, or I make notes on Photoshop after that. Just kind of like, okay, do this. This is crooked. Blah blah blah. And almost always it's a symmetry issue, at least for me. When I flip it, it's like, damn, this is like that's it's a symmetry issue almost always for me. Or one, yeah, like one limb's too damn big, or let's see. Sure. Sorry about that. Sorry I'm getting quiet. I was thinking there for a second. I think I'm going to pull this up a little bit here. This erases decently, this kind of pencil. A regular pencil would have come out way more than that, I think. But be careful, like I said, how dark you go in the beginning. You're supposed to build these drawings up slowly. Not always, but the way I'm doing this right now, I want to build it up slowly. You know, like it's kind of like a Polaroid image slowly coming to. If you guys know what Polaroids are, you know, when you take a photo, those old cameras, they slowly develop. You know, it takes like 30 seconds for the image to finally show up. It's kind of like that's the way I'd like to my process to go, at least on something like this. All right, let me kind of correct this upper shape over here. I feel like that should be Dang, that will not come out. Let me see, the camera's still okay? Alright, cool, I guess I'll see. Fin. Let me draw a fin in. The fin on the other side. This is also the pectoral fin, but coming out the other side. Watch out. And now I'm hitting a point where, you know, a lot of the body parts are in there generally. Now it's kind of like I'm hitting this stage, and it's weird. You can kind of feel it. You know, if you've been drawing for a while, you kind of feel it. Like now it's this correctional stage where it's like it's all just it's in there, and now I'm just correcting everything. I'm trying to. It's like this auto correct. Okay, what do I do here? How can I correct this? How can I make this a little better? What's standing out too much? Now I'm just shading here. And I'm shading right here for color because his upper color is gray. So I'm just gonna kind of give a very light glaze over that whole thing. Alright. Now I'm trying to step back. What can I do to improve it? I would connect the counter shading right here. This feels like it's piecey. Like this, it's a little bit too much in pieces. I'm gonna throw a bold line around the contour to kind of contain all the shapes. I might regret doing this decision, but well, if I do, at least I caught it on camera and you'll see it and I'll talk about it. Alright. Is that alright? Let me sharpen my pencil again. And from here now, it's a lot of fiddling, you know. Now I'm kind of like, alright, now what can I do with smaller detail to make this look better or more readable? Alright, that's a quick sketch, guys. I'm going to have to call it. Time is getting crazy right now, mostly for time. If I was going to keep working on this, I would continue to even out the value, meaning how dark things are. I feel there's too many obscure shapes right here in the tail here. I would even that out, try to separate this fin from here. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching me draw. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. Comment below, subscribe, and yeah, thanks a lot, guys.